Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Sisterhood Sitdown. I have a new co-host with me. Her name is Sam, and we bonded over our last FaceTime. We are basically the same person when it comes to sports, so I'm so excited. I have another person to talk about all things WNBA with, Paige Beckers, all that jazz. So we have a lot to talk about on this episode of the Sisterhood Sitdown. A lot of stuff is not only happening in women's sports, but also just sports in general, with the NHL draft coming up. There was so many records being broken in the WNBA lately, and also so many crazy fights happening. And then also it's the All-Star games. So then Commissioner's Cup is ending, All-Stars starting, All-Stars also voting going on for the MLB right now. It is absolutely chaos, and I don't know about you, but I can't keep up.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like, there's so much happening in women's sports as well that I'm like, it's almost hard to keep up with women's sports, which I love as well. But I'm so excited. I'm like glued to my phone the whole day.
I know, I'm like trying to be off my phone and enjoy the summer, even though how I'm validating it is it's been really bad weather in Ontario. So I'm like, it's been raining, it's crappy, I'm inside, it's totally fine. But we will start off with the All-Star voting right now. The Blue Jays, or I guess All-Star voting MLB, is getting a lot of smoke because pretty much all the Blue Jays players that were invited to be a part of the All-Star voting, they are at the top of the list. They are above everybody. And the Jays have unfortunately not had the best season so far. But not only the team as a whole hasn't had a great season, the players also haven't had the best numbers. Like, I think we just got over the 500 mark the other week. Whether we're still there or not, who knows, to be honest. But people are like, obviously, Ernie Clement is up at the top. I mean, Earn Dog, like, hello. But people are like, and Kirk, who just came back, which I would like to say, he had a phenomenal game back. Phenomenal. I'm so glad, because I feel like, unfortunately, he has to prove a lot of the haters wrong. But I absolutely love, he killed it in his first game back. I was so happy. I was like jumping off the couch. I was so pleased. But people were like, so he hasn't played a lot, so his numbers are obviously lower, because he's but in the All-Star, you wouldn't, if you didn't know his numbers, you would have thought he was the best, one of the best players in the league. Same with Ernie, same with all the Blue Jays. But I find that's what happens when you have a whole country behind one team. And then, let alone, they went to the World Series last year in Game 7, so, which they still should have won. I will die on that hill.
Yeah,
but
still mad. I'm still mad.
I always, you know what I've been saying since it happened? Third World Series sounds better in the 50th anniversary. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. But so people, the Canadians are getting a lot of flame and a lot of heat for sending. I'm like, that's what happens when you have a whole country behind one team. Obviously, the voting system is going to be great, but I'm not complaining about it. And then John Schneider actually got the manager for the American League East team for the All-Star. So that's great. I saw a couple funny memes online of how he didn't want to do it and he wanted to go on vacation, but now he's got, I'm like, you know what? Something to add to the resume.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I find I'm more in tune, honestly. I vote every day because I have the WNBA app. I don't know about you, but every day it refreshes. I go in and I save my selected votes for the WNBA All-Star and I put them through again. The Blue Jays ones, I feel bad. I remember when I can, but I'm all about women's sports. So I am pushing for the women's All-Star. Do you have anybody that you want to see for the All-Star?
Ooh, I mean, I'm like, if we're talking Blue Jays, I'm huge Ernie Clement fan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's kind of, like, every time I watch Dalton Varsho step up to the plate, I'm like, okay, like, let me lock in for a second.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like, I mean, if we're talking up at, like, favorite players and things like that as well, seeing, like, Traya Savage has just become staple in Canadian households now, I feel. I remember last season, I went to Game 6 of the World Series. And it was insane. It was the best night of my life by far. Like, something I'll never forget. I went with my dad. We had the best time. And, like, I feel like the even off the field, like, the personality of this alone makes up for everything. They could have the worst season, and Canada would be like, we still love you.
I will die on this hill that I was distraught, especially when Isaiah kind of Falefa, I thought we had, like, for, like, the last few minutes
Yes.
of Game 7, we thought we had it. But I don't know anyone that was genuinely mad because I say it, it's not like when the Leafs lose. It's not like when the Raptors lose.
Yep.
It's not like, it's,
100%.
we weren't, I don't know anybody that was genuinely mad at the team or mad at the players. They were more sad because I think, honestly, it got down to a thing that it was country versus country. And I genuinely
Yes.
think, I will, with the ball getting stuck, it went downhill. Now, I know you can't get a ball stuck, but you can pull, like, there's no, it was not a dead ball. You could have, anyway, I can't, I get too riled up about this.
Someone calm her down.
I'm like, you will hear about this in 50 years from now when we have, like,
Oh yeah.
multiple more World Series wins. I will still bring
No,
it back
like
to this.
we're gonna be in the nursing home one
Yeah.
day, and we're gonna be
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
Ernie.
you don't understand when the ball got stuck. Like, you don't get it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Well, that, like, we could go on and on. I love
I
it.
could. But let's talk about Miss Marina Mabrey. Boo.
Yes. Go ahead.
I have no words. I'm
Oh,
speechless.
I've got it.
Just
I know.
I'm just I watched that game yesterday and it was amazing. I was just like, I look away for 2 seconds and she has 10 more points and I'm like, I get it. Like, it's different if you're not doing like the free throw shots or you're not getting just like a layup to the bucket. Obviously it's worth 3 points each, but I'm just like, she's shooting from, like, I would say at least mid-court at this point. I'm like, do you even care about the 3-point line? Like, what is the point?
No, she's just pulling up and shooting. It's
Yeah.
like ridiculous. So she ties the WNBA record for the most points in a single game.
Yes.
With, I think it was, she hit 53, right?
Yes.
So she ties Asia Wilson, and there
Yeah.
was one other player from like 2018. Oof. I can't remember.
Was it
I'll pull
Brianna
it up,
Stewart
but
or am I losing my mind?
no, it
No?
wasn't Brianna Stewart because I would know that. It was,
Yeah.
I want to say it was maybe a European player.
Okay.
But she leads the Tempo to a win over the Los Angeles Sparks, which,
Yes.
great game. Final score I think was 125-97.
And that was
And
another record breaker.
Oh, yes, it
The
was.
score. Because I think it was 127 with the Phoenix Mercury. I want to say it was like 20. It was like either 2014 or 2008. I don't know why those two numbers are sticking out to me. But in overtime, it went to 127, and that was the highest score of a WNBA game. So in regulation, that was the highest score of 125. I'm like, yes, ladies.
There we
yes,
go.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
And I love when I don't know about you, but I love when I'm watching at home and I literally hear the audience like screaming. Granted, Coca-Cola is
Yes.
not like massive, but
Correct.
like I couldn't tell if people were booing that Sandy had pulled Mabry out. But this is my one thing. Out of every sport, I'm like, how does the manager make that decision? Because you want them to get a standing ovation, especially in like the MLB. Like if they're about to have like a full like a no hits game, like if they're from start to finish. So I'm like, but then you want to get them the recognition of the standing ovation, but then or if they break a record or whatever it is, because I find like that's happened a few times. I think with Gosman and Bassett is they've done really well. They've hit a record or strikeouts or however many pitches they've thrown, and they're doing well, but then they still pull them because they want to give them this recognition. They deserve the standing ovation. They don't want to pull them out if they're doing bad, which I get, but I'm like, oh, I don't know, because I heard a mix of boos and cheers, and I'm like, oh my god, please tell me she doesn't think that like Toronto's booing you, because that's not the case.
Yeah, because we're not, because we love you.
No, but then they were screaming. They're like, I heard them chanting MVP, and then I heard them chanting "We want Mabry," and I'm like, oh my god. So I hope she stays here for a long time. I think she's on a year or two contract. I really hope she's one of the ones that I hope stays for a long time.
I know, I do too. And I know because you're going out to the Tempo game soon, right?
I'm so excited. I think it's July. Yes, I don't know if you can see behind me, but that's her Funko Pop right there. I'm bringing it to the game.
Oh my god.
I'm manifesting that I get it signed. So, and I have her jersey too. So.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Fingers crossed,
so we love Paige Beckers.
Yes.
Paige Beckers is like close enough to God, pretty much, in my opinion. Like, I could not get enough. And then if we talk on that Paige level with Caitlin Clark, and what happened
Oh,
with her and Alyssa Thomas. That kind of
yeah.
didn't go so well. So Caitlin was hit in the throat by
Yeah.
Thomas, and placed been a game between the Indiana Fever and the Venus Mercury, and the play wasn't called live. Like, it was called
Yeah.
a foul afterwards.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like,
It was
what are we doing?
I don't know, and I feel like it's so hard too because I wasn't watching that game, and so I just saw it on my
hmm
phone later. It was like Caitlin Clark got, or was it some tabloid? It was Caitlin Clark got choked out on the basketball court, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay. So I click on it, but again, it's like it's hard because I'm like, if you're seeing a replay, you're not seeing like when it was live from the game, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe this is just because. I mean, people will disagree with me, but I think I'm just a nice person and I just don't want confrontation, even though I don't mind confrontation. But I'm just like, no one would ever do that on purpose. Like, I can see how it would be an accident, but I can also see how it could be
hmm
purposeful. And it's just like, I find anything with Caitlin Clark out of any player, I find with Caitlin Clark, either you love her or you don't. And it's just very much like, even the comment sections on any post I saw about
Yep,
about
100%.
it was either people were like, how is that a flagrant foul? Or then people were like, she's only suspended 2 games. She should be suspended for the rest of the season. And I'm like, there was no in between.
Yeah,
It was either like you're on Caitlin's side or you're not to cause a fight in women's sports, but it's like, I
exactly.
find anything with Caitlin Clark, it's either like you think she's the
It's
greatest
all or
basketball player.
nothing.
Yeah, it's like, or you're like, oh, she like just wants these fouls to be called on her. So I feel like there's no in
hmm
between. It's
hmm
it just
What?
with nothing against her, but just it's
Yeah.
either like the most extreme or the opposite.
And it's difficult because it's like, hey, yeah, it did happen, and
Hmm.
whether it's intentional or not, it's like, oh, I didn't mean to. If I meant to hit you in the face, I'm not right. Like it's sport.
Yeah.
People, things happen, but it's also like she is the face of the league, and she's dealt with so much in the past that it's like
Hmm.
kind of a series of events that, oh, now this, and it's like, well, she's getting thrown on the floor, and Sophie Cunningham's fighting people for blah 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 blah. Where it's like, okay, like, let's take it down. I mean, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna, but I'm like you. Like, I didn't even watch the game until I get a notification on my phone. It's like, Caitlin Clark just got rocked. And goodness, what now? So I went back and I'm rewatching like what happened, and they're really like, to me, that's why, like, the referees, I could never be a referee in my life. I just couldn't. Because there's so much to look at. And yeah, so like we said, it wasn't called on the court, but it was
Hmm.
the WNBA reviewed it afterwards and upgraded it to a flagrant 2 and suspended Thomas for 1 game. So now everyone's putting in their 2 cents, but
Yeah. I think that
uh
was hard too because
mhm.
it was again like the whole thing was when Caitlin came into the WNBA, first of all, she was the number one draft pick, so that's all eyes on you. And I think that's the same problem
Exactly.
with this year with AZ Fudd and Olivia Miles. Okay, well, it's I'm
Mhm.
not diminishing Miles's like skills or anything, but for example, like it took last year Paige, she got a 40, I think it was
Yep.
44-point game, but that they only got 10 wins and they still lost that game that she got 44 points. So I think especially in basketball, you can only do so much with what your team gives
Exactly.
you. I'm not saying like a team is bringing you down or whatever, but if your team is setting you up, it's hard. I think basketball is one of those sports where it's a team thing. Like baseball, I think like honestly,
100%.
you can be like one of the best players and your stats can be up. And but that
Mhm.
can also help bring up the team. I think so.
No, I agree because anyone, you could have like prime, like, pick anyone on any day,
Yeah.
and they show up, they show up, they step up to the plate, and boom, like, a home run,
Home run.
right? There goes your stats, there
Yeah.
goes the ball game, right? Every
Exactly.
time you step up to the plate, but it doesn't work like that in basketball, because I remember watching all the, if you watch Caitlin Clark highlights, behind her back, like all around. I'm like, put this girl in quarterback. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and she's throwing all these passes, and then, whether it's like got butterfingers sometimes, like, you don't make the pass, and then you don't get
Yeah.
the assist, and
Yeah.
then her stats, what could have been.
Exactly.
So
And I think
it's
it's the thing
yeah,
of also it's a women's sport. Like if this was a guy making these
yeah,
mistakes or if a guy was doing it, would it be this big of a
it's
deal?
different.
Yeah. But
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I
That's what
have
it
to say.
is. Awesome. I love it. Why don't we turn to the PWHL?
Oh, yes.
I
I'm so
know. We have
excited
some
for
exciting
Hamilton's season.
news. I know you are. And then she's gonna ditch the Scepters.
I know.
No.
I know.
But
I feel
in
I
speaking of
was
the
like,
Scepters, we have some exciting news that we got from Blair Turnbull. She announced that she's expecting her first child, and she's expected to miss the upcoming 2026-27 season, which we'll miss her. I'll miss her more than you will, but Miss Hamilton fan.
I have to. I
But
have to. It's literally my hometown. I can't not cheer for them now.
I know. It's
I'm like,
okay. It's
sorry,
okay.
guys.
We can cheer for both. We can cheer.
Yes,
It's like
yes,
I don't know if we have any like Vampire Diaries watchers or you have watched Vampire Diaries, but it's like Stafford and Damon. You can love
yes.
them both.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm like,
we've got that.
I'm the GTA region. Like anyone in Ontario, I'll take that team.
I'll just love everybody. It's okay.
Exactly. It's
but
fine. It's fine.
uh, But I think this is also like so interesting because as women's sports are, becoming bigger and with media coverage and sponsorships, lots more is depending on it. And when you
Hmm.
have women, of course, you're going to go through pregnancy and start their families and things like that who are also professional athletes. That also sparks a lot of conversation.
Hmm.
So I think it's really important to normalize athletes um, starting families and coming back and returning to play as well.
For sure.
I know that Natalie Spooner, when she had her
Hmm.
kids, and she's still playing hockey, and she's
Yeah.
still on the Scepters, and she's playing great. Even like
Makes me
tennis
feel great about
players.
myself. I barely, I'm like, they
Yeah,
can
I
have a
know.
full
I'm like
kid and then come
sitting
back.
here, like, oh my god, I know. I'm like, I need to. This is my workout motivation.
Yeah.
So she's, oh, I love her so much. But even like in the tennis Grand Slams and things like that, like
Mhm.
women, it was like oh, you're gonna have a baby. Okay, then you can't play
You're
tennis
done.
anymore.
Yeah.
And now they're doing the complete opposite, where
Yeah.
like Serena Williams, she's coming back this year for the Grand Slam. I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck? That's also a whole separate thing. Um, but I think it's great. And I remember reading um, something about the WNBA in the contracts that they can't, I think that you can't um, trade a pregnant player,
Oh,
which
good.
I think is a great rule. And I
Yeah.
think
But
that there are also some,
I just think it's crazy that that's even a thing that you would trade someone because they're
yeah,
pregnant. Because that's the thing. Speaking of, to me, being pregnant is like this, but you're treating that differently as if you would an injury. Like you wouldn't necessarily trade a player because they're
yeah,
injured. But speaking of that, I didn't know this was a thing. I went to like this networking event and they had an Canadian um a track runner. She's been to the Olympics. She was talking about, actually, I didn't know that they have, I don't think this is just for the Olympics, but it's in women's sports, you have like an injury card and like other
uh-huh,
stuff or whatever. So apparently
mm-hmm.
the women had to use their injury card if they got pregnant, which pissed me off. I'm like, so if they got pregnant, and I don't know if it lasted a year or how long it lasted, they used to have
mm-hmm.
to use their injury card if they were taking time off from mat leave or whatever. But then if they came back
Mm,
and they got injured and that card wasn't redone or they didn't have a new card, then what happens? But now it
yep,
is two separate things, thankfully. But I know it was a whole thing
yes.
as well. Like, a female wrestler, she got her stats got taken away or her points or whatever because she got pregnant and came back, which I also think is wrong. And it's not like,
Mm-hmm.
if anything, not in a negative way, but if anything, you could have seen that as a disadvantage. Like, why would you take away the points? It's not like she
Exactly.
left, go, somehow like rearrange everything and somehow came back like as a different person or whatever or with a
Yeah,
one up. She
exactly.
didn't. I'm not saying, I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be like, oh, pregnant, like you can't do anything, you're taking one step back, but again, it's not like you have something that's like putting you in advantage. So I
No,
didn't know
exactly.
that,
And
and
even
that made me so mad.
yeah, and even with like these are professional athletes we're
It's
talking
their
about.
career,
These are
like
not
it's genuinely.
lifeline. And they're not doing like it's because they love it. And I feel like nowadays like even GMs have a better relationship with the players. So there is kind of that connection as well where you can only hope that they would have that conversation and be on the better side of it. But even in saying that, it's not like, like you're growing a human. Like your body's going to change and things like
Yeah.
that, but then you come back and you like there's so many prime examples of
You have to work
women
harder,
returning
if
to
anything.
sport.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they want to. Like let
Exactly.
them. Don't
Yeah,
make
if
it
they
more
want to, who
difficult.
cares? Like, it's not bothering you. And that's my biggest thing. It's like, I don't even want to say they're lucky enough to do this sport as a career. They work their butt off in order to do this
Yeah.
sport for a living. But even some of them, like, I remember they talked about the one that I can think of off the top of my head is like bobsledding from the Olympics. Cause I always joke about with,
Mhm.
especially with Winter Olympics, like, how in God's name do you get into bobsledding?
Yeah.
Like, how is that just some sports? I'm like, how
Who
do you live
created this
somewhere where this is
sport?
a thing? But I'm like, how do you go to a training facility? Like, I'm just very nosy and I want to know. Like, I always want to know the behind the
Yeah.
scenes stuff. But I'm just
Like
like,
who got bored and decided to spray ice on the wall? Like what?
literally. But it's like things like that. I'm like, they interviewed, I'm pretty sure it was bobsledding. And they were like, yeah, I had to take
Um,
time off from my full-time job to come to the Olympics. I'm like, that is crazy to me that some people, because I know you do win a certain amount of money for your country, or like you get paid a certain amount if you bring home a gold medal, a silver, or a bronze.
yeah.
I think it's the same for like as a country. I don't think it's divided by province or anything, but
Mhm.
or state, wherever. I just find like
Yeah.
for some sports, there's so much money in it, and then there's other sports where you're working full time and then having to book time off to go to the Olympics. Like that's insane. Just like I'm
Exactly.
gonna put in my vacation request. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just going to the Olympics. Oh, to
Yeah.
watch? No,
Well,
to participate. No, I'm
that
actually
to what?
in
Oh my
what?
gosh.
Bobsledding. or
That's
or even who
so
knows, maybe even hockey. I know some figure skaters, like there was one girl that went to McMaster. She literally there was an email and she was like, could I submit the
Oh
assignment I'm at
yes.
the Olympic.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I've seen her at Stars on Ice multiple times, but I think that's I was there with my mom in the spring. I was like, Mom, do you know she goes to McMaster? She was in the Olympics, but she goes to McMaster. My mom's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, they have to balance all these things.
I know. And that's even I remember seeing well, oh, I was listening to the PWHL podcast, Chalks
Hmm.
and Chills. And I remember Tessa was talking about how some of the girls before the PWHL was formed, the jobs that these women would have.
Oh,
Like, can you imagine? Like some of them were working at like a cheese, like a cheese fat, like a like the like. Oh my gosh, they had the craziest jobs. Exactly. So it's like whether you're working nights or you're working early in the morning because it's like beer league and you have a game at 8 o'clock, like that. So it's nice that now we kind of have the foundation to build
yeah.
up on,
Yes.
which
And I
I'm
think it's the thing
loving.
of people are like, oh, well, no one watches. Okay. I still think it's the problem of you're not necessarily giving them the platform. Like the WNBA just moved up to 50 games, um, a 50
Mm-hmm.
games a season. But, and like, even like my friends are like, I'm like, oh, well, I can only watch like Toronto. It might just be my cable, but I'm like, I can only watch Toronto Tempo at home. Like, I can't put on like the Fever game on the TV or the whatever because you
Yep.
have to do so many loopholes. Like, I paid for the WNBA season pass, the league pass, but sometimes I can only watch certain games. Sometimes they're only on Amazon or they're only on whatever. I'm like, if you gave not just the WNBA, but women's sports in general, if you put them on TV, if you gave them
Mm-hmm.
accessible streaming services or platform, if you gave it accessible for people to watch, more people would watch. But I think they won't do that because then they know. Because that's my other thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, honestly, Toronto Temple is only playing a few games. I think it's 3 games at Scotiabank Arena. Like I'm going to one of them. But I'm just like, I think honestly they could have done, I don't know if they could
The
necessarily make
lower
it their
ball,
home,
even.
but that's what I said. I'm
Yeah.
like, you could just do the lower bowl. Like just many concerts or things don't sell at the top seats. I think you could just do the lower bowl and then more people would go. And a lot of people too, especially in this economy, buy tickets last minute. So I find
Yep.
you're probably going to sell all those because every game at Coca-Cola Coliseum is sold out. And if you buy season ticket holders can't make it to every single game, like they either
Yep.
sell them or give them to family or whatever. I'm like, I stand on that.
100%. And it's even like oh my, I tried so hard to get tickets to see the Dallas Wings at the Toronto Tempo. I clawed and it's like $500.
Yeah.
I was like, who? eh, excuse me, like Paige, I want to come see you, but oh my goodness, it's like, no, you go ahead. It's just crazy.
I know. Well, that's the thing too. I'm like, out of every team that they're playing at Scotiabank, I think they should have done the Fever at Scotiabank. And I think they should have done the Dallas Wings at Scotiabank for sure, especially because they drafted AZ Fudd #1.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they are doing the Dallas Wings. They're also doing another game in Montreal. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say that's a bigger venue because they're
I
talking
think
about
so.
breaking a record. And there's a Scotiabank game before that, so that must be a bigger venue. But I'm just like, I think you should have done like the Dallas Wings game and the Indiana Fever. I think you should do those at Scotiabank because I'm like, I could cry tears of joy when I got those tickets. I texted my friend. I'm like, hey, what's your budget? Because I'm about to go over, but I said I need to be, and I got it. I'm 99% sure I bought the tickets because I got pre-sale before the WNBA draft. And I was like, because that's the other thing. When AZ Fudd got it, all the
Mm-hmm.
tickets went up even more.
Oh,
But
yes.
I'm like, there was like maybe, I wasn't that far behind people. I would say maybe like there was like less than 30 people in front of me. And I got in and there were hardly any tickets
Mm-hmm.
left. And I'm like, and it wasn't my first choice of where I was sitting. I'm like, I don't care. I'm too scared. I'm just clicking it, adding it to cart. I literally don't care. I'm like, so I text her. I'm like, we're going. I'm so
Oh my
excited. And the fact
gosh.
that it's my first WNBA game, I'm like so excited.
I know. I still have yet to go. And I don't even care. I'll go down there for like, we could play nobody, and I would pay to see the
Right?
practice, okay? Like,
Right? I think, yeah, that's the thing.
it's
They should do open practices. That would be fun.
100%. And I think they could also do something in like the promotions realm with their, like the marketing aspect of, I'm going to go into sports business. So that's like, but even like thinking about that. And when we also, I was thinking the other day, the WNBA is now at 30 years. And kind of, I had this idea they should do some kind of because Toronto is the only Canadian team. And Toronto's kind of becoming that, like the real Canadian sports hub. And even like a takeover tour, PWHL style Canadian, where even like they take their first 5 or 6 games of the season and play them at venues across Canada, I think. And it's like in BC, like they love it. In Nova Scotia, the PWHL stats were insane for those takeover tours, selling out the arenas, and it's so awesome to see. And I think that there's so much potential to build on the chance.
Yeah, they do. I know they're doing a game in Vancouver. They might have already done
Yes,
it, or
yes.
they are doing a game in Vancouver and the Montreal. But again, I feel
Mhm.
like that's just two. Not that it's a bad thing, but it is two major sports like hubs, like right
Mhm.
there. But I'm like, yeah, like go to other places.
100%.
But even like I tried to get tickets to the PWHL Takeover Tour. They did one in Hamilton, and this was before they announced
Yes.
PWHL team. And I like tried to get tickets. I was like, they're all gone. I mean, like, get
Yep.
Slay, they're all gone. But I'm like, I wanted to go. Like, I'm like, great for you, but I need a ticket.
Like, can we do 2 nights? Can we do
Yeah,
two
exactly.
days?
Exactly.
Can we add another one? No,
Exactly.
I remember looking at the takeover tour stats, and Hamilton, I was shocked. I
Yep.
was like, I forget sometimes how many people are in like the greater Toronto area.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of us here. Like,
Well, that's the other thing too. I think we're in withdrawal because the Bulldogs left. And so
yes,
that's,
yes.
which I'm mad that they're not coming back, but that's besides the point. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the other, whatever the Islanders like team, like
Yeah,
Miners team,
mhm.
I wish they would have just brought back the Bulldogs because Hamilton Bulldogs sounds better than Brantford Bulldogs, but I stand on that. That's fine. But I think
Yeah.
honestly, like that area, like Hamilton area is such in withdrawal from hockey because I'm like, no one
Mhm.
wants to go all the way to Toronto, especially now that we have venues. Now that TD Coliseum is open and they've done a couple concerts
Yes.
there. I know people that have gone. I've gone. No one wants to go to Toronto anymore for concerts, so I'm like, bring them back here. We're in withdrawal. We need them over here, and it's just like,
Yep.
yeah. Because, like, as much I love going to Toronto for some things, but it's such, like, it's not even a money thing. It's just, it's such a long day.
It takes my brain. Like, it's quite literally, I can't, like, I need like a day to recover. Like I can't wake up and go to work the next day or go to school or anything. I'm just like,
Exactly.
I need to sit.
Exactly.
It's don't even get me. We have 2 seasons, winter and construction,
Oh,
so
yep.
it's a hassle. Why? Moving on to Marie-Philip Poulin, who also shared that she played through a torn ACL and meniscus in her right knee, while she still helped her team win the Walter Cup. Like, hello. Oh, talk
Does she
about like
complain?
look at these women are troopers. Like,
I I
I'd be
have one
so
word. Or sorry, no, I have 2 words for that.
yes.
Man cold. Man cold. That's all. That's all. Continue with what you were saying, please. Please. That's all I have to say. That's
No,
all I have to
I honestly think I would be so afraid if I was another country to go to war with Canada because I would just be like, send the female hockey players, send Sidney Crosby, and like these people, they'll play through trench foot.
They
They'll
really
play
will.
through literally anything. But yeah, so she played through knee issues during the Olympics.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the season, she was like in and out, in and out. It's clear that something was wrong with the knee, but safe to say she sucked it up and got them done. Like, and I'd be so scared if I was Laura Stacey and I'm watching like my
Yeah.
night, knowing like she probably knew what was going on.
This could end a career really quickly.
Like, Marie, what are
She
you
has a
doing?
good poker face then if no one even suspected anything. My God.
She's the GOAT, no doubt about it. Like, she's so good. And so she's undergoing surgery in July and then out with an indefinite recovery timeline,
Yeah.
which I hope she's back for the season because I love watching her play. And unfortunately, Emma Malte has left the Scepters and now she's with the Montreal Victoire, which I'm like,
Is that
Emma
the sweater
Malte?
that you're wearing? Is that what
It, yes, I am wearing my Montreal Victoire.
So you can't be that bad about
But
it.
I'm not that mad. I'm not that mad.
It's still
I'm a
Canada.
huge, huge, huge Marie-Philip Poulin fan.
Yeah.
Marie-Philip Poulin could play for like Manitoba, and I'm a Manitoba fan. Like, I don't care. But so as soon as she was with Montreal, I was like, no shocker there. Like, bred through Montreal. But yeah, so I mean, we'll still get to see her. It'll make for a really exciting game when Montreal plays Toronto.
For
Because
sure.
usually for those games, they'll play in like the Bell Center in Montreal or in Scotiabank in Toronto. So that'll be so exciting. But I'm like, I miss my hockey. Like,
You're
the
in
Stanley
withdrawal.
Cup's over, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go rewatch the entire season on YouTube.
But
So
you got to be excited for the draft, right?
I'm so excited. That's tonight. I think 8 o'clock. NHL
Well,
draft.
after this, when this comes out, it'll be after. So who do you think's? Can I just say the
Yes.
fact, the fact that
Yes.
the
Go
Leafs,
ahead.
okay, I'm not a Leafs fan. I'm sorry,
I can't even like.
but
I can't even
but I
start.
think it was so funny. There was a video that came out that none of them believed that they got the #1 draft pick. They're like, we did, really, us? Like they know.
I.
They're like, us? Is this a joke? Where's the camera?
Oh my gosh. I think
But
it was
everyone was posting it.
Nylander.
They got like, yeah, the #1 draft lottery pick. I'm like, people who I didn't even know were Leafs fans were reposting it. I'm like, okay.
I'm like, okay, the bandwagon starts. Like, but I remember seeing. My sister had like a musical, and I'm in the audience, and I'm not supposed to look at my phone, right?
Oh
And
my God,
it
I could
was
just
like
picture
the
this.
lottery night, and I'm not expecting anything. Like, I don't think
Yeah,
the Leafs are gonna get it.
it's
All
Toronto.
I
Like,
know, intermission comes. I check my phone. I go, Dad, you're not gonna. I screamed. I actually got up and I started running around. It was probably the most excited I've been in a really long time. And I think they're gonna take McKenna. I was the GM. I would take McKenna. I know there's been like back and forth with McKenna or Stenberg McKenna. Or I've seen people be like, maybe they trade it for more picks.
no.
How? Why? Let's not. Don't play with my feelings like that, please.
Well, I think you're
But
safe because it's in how
Mhm.
many hours? Like, I feel like they would have had to
Yeah.
announce by now if they were trading it for more
Yes.
picks.
Well, just before we got on to record this, I saw that we traded the goalie we got from the Flyers. We got his rights.
Oh,
In the Joseph Wall trade, traded him, and we got a fifth round pick, I think, for tonight's draft.
oh,
So that's also so. But I think we gave out like we don't have a second round pick this year, so at least we'll have like another one. But I remember when who was it? The Penguins guy, Dubas. Dubas gave away all our picks, so
oh,
at
yeah.
least we're getting our first one. But so this will be Cheka's first draft as a GM as well,
Oh,
which I'm
interesting.
scared.
No pressure.
I'm very scared. Yeah, and then seeing how like if McKenna like gets drafted, does he change the leaves? How does he work with Matt? There's so many questions I have. I wish I could like sit down with all of them in a room. But yeah, so we're missing a second round pick, and then we've got a couple throughout the next couple rounds. But I love watching the draft every year, and then seeing the best is when you see all the guys get up and walk down the aisle, and they're all dapping each other up, and they're like, "Yo, man!" Like I think it's the best. I think it was last year or 2 years ago with Beckett Seneke. I think it was last year. Um, and everyone seeing like I can't go on my phone during the draft because I'll get to like the draft. And I remember I went down this rabbit hole of watching these. If you have time, just search up NHL draft after the draft. You're gonna see the funniest videos of all time. These people make the best memes. They're like, "Who, me?" Because there's always that one guy like, "Oh my god, I got drafted," and I love seeing it because it's so genuine and seeing like them hug their parents, and I think it's so special. And like, yes, hockey is mainly rah rah rah, but it's also like there's such a sentimental and like community side of it that
There is. I think
it's
it's,
so
yeah,
special.
100%. I think it's because, like, also, like, it's such a hometown sport. And so I think that makes a huge
Mm-hmm.
difference. And, like, I think also with Canada, like, I even after the Olympics, it's Canada's sport. I think hockey is Canada's sport. And I think it's the thing of, like,
Amen. Amen.
I think it's the thing of like, well, okay, so the Leafs, the Toronto curse, whatever. But regardless,
Mm-hmm.
every year they still people would jump on the bandwagon. Like last year, they like fell in love with them all over again. But then I think it's
Yep.
like as it goes down, like okay, if they get out, then everyone's rooting for Edmonton, or even I know it's very
Yep.
controversial, but like the Montreal Canadiens, like the Habs, whether you
Yes.
like them or you don't.
Yes.
But I think it's like that. Even like you realize, even if like then they're the last ones in, then everyone's behind them because I think it's very much a whole country thing. Like it's again like I love sports, but I think there's like the smidge thing of politics in it, and I think it's genuinely like when you're playing for a
Yes.
country, even though
Yes.
it's not like the Jays, they don't have one team, but I think Canada is so special when they rally behind because we're very limited to what we have over here. As much as I always want more sports in
Mm-hmm.
Canada, I do selfishly kind of love the small, tight knit thing because it's like you really
Yeah.
see how much people band together.
Absolutely. And I think like that's also in like I'm talking with my friends about the draft, and it's like I know these kids because all of them they
Mm.
grew up in the Toronto area, and it oh that one I like 20 minutes from where I grew up. Oh, up here. Oh, 30 minutes from where I grew up. Like we're all within that certain circle, and I think like it's there's like a knowing, like a special like knowing, and you could go to any team, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna follow that guy in years when his career is over, and it's like, oh yeah, that was the kid from down the street, or like things like
Exactly.
that. So like it's so special. Thank you guys so much for watching the Sisterhood Sit Down. This was so exciting for me as well for my first time on here. I'm loving it.
You did great.
Um, Isabella is like my new best friend, and I hope I'm back. So let's
You're
see how
coming. You
that
actually don't
goes.
have a choice. You're
But
back.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect,
you're hired.
awesome. She'll book me in.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. And I'm gonna pray for all of us during this draft tonight because I will be glued to the TV. No one is taking over my living room. I will not allow it. I'm gonna need to get some Uber Eats in here or
Yeah.
something.
I'm
So
gonna send you a like check-in text. Be like, are you still alive?
yeah, how's the heart rate. So if I'm still alive, I'll be on here next time, guys. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.